Welcome into Box Office Quarterbacks. Back at it again. Jeff, Ahmed, and today we are talking about Rebel Ridge, dropped on Netflix, I think late August, starring Aaron Pierre and Don Johnson. This is a movie that I wasn't sure what to expect. I thought this was more for like the Reacher crowd from like Amazon Prime, and I was pleasantly surprised. I thought this really worked well as like a revenge flick. But Ahmed, I know you had a little bit of a difference of opinion on it.
I thought it was a little overhyped. I liked Aaron Pierre, but I wasn't going to this movie with a lot of expectations. I was kind of just like thinking it was going to be one of those movies like Walking Tall, where
Yeah,
it's the same thing we've always seen: one man army takes on an entire town, corruption. We've seen this before,
yeah.
and so I don't know. I wasn't as excited about it because everybody around me just hyped the shit out of it. And then so when I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, no. Why should I be impressed by this?
Yeah. I heard the director of this movie compare this to First Blood, which is the first Rambo movie, and Michael Clayton, which is a political thriller, which is two very weird genres of movies to mix. But I can kind of see that just because of all the corruption in the police force that's uncovered all throughout it.
Yeah, they made it. It seemed like this movie was more focused on the drama aspect. I mean, there wasn't as much action as I was hoping in a movie like this, where you see a guy like kick ass. I didn't. I'm disappointed to say I didn't see that much. But when we did see it, Aaron Pierre delivered. He looked like he made me believe that he was a Marine veteran. To me, I think Aaron Pierre, whenever there was that scene where he does the pace speech, I thought in that moment he would have played an amazing villain, and I think that's where his talents could be really shined, is if he plays like an anti-hero or like a psychopath. Not saying that he's, the typical villain, but he just has that look where he could do that, like that snarl that he did in that scene. I think he could deliver. He could deliver almost Homelander type vibes.
I think he is like the next great action star. Like I was kind of blown away by his performance. Like he is just like he's up for Green Lantern right now. And I
Okay.
think he would be a perfect Green Lantern just because of his physique. Like his eyes are already like
Don't
comic
get me started.
booky.
We're not going to talk about that man's eyes.
Hey, hey,
Everyone and
he
their
has
mother has.
he has beautiful eyes, Ahmed, and I
No,
can say that.
you know
Beautiful
what?
eyes.
You've insulted Scratchy. Look at her. She's coming to
Scratchy
you.
also has beautiful eyes. But like I can see it. And that scene you're talking about, look at her. Uh, Scratchy is also the next great action star as well. But that scene you're talking about with Don Johnson, and this is when you find out that he was in like the military jujitsu unit or something.
Oh my God, he's in the Wikipedia page.
That was funny as hell. That was so funny. And
Yeah.
like he's like, there's that shit eating grin that you were talking about, and it looks like you just ate shit. Like I loved his dialogue there.
Yeah.
He's great. And the crazy thing about this movie is it wasn't even him originally cast here. It was John Boyega, and he actually filmed a good portion of this movie, and they replaced him halfway through. I just can't see him in this role.
I like John Boyega a lot. But I wouldn't run up on John Boyega, but I'm pretty sure I could take John Boyega. I'm
That's what
just
I'm saying.
like I like John Boyega, but it's kind of like Colin Firth in Kingsman Service. Colin Firth couldn't punch through a wet paper bag. So
Yeah. It's like Jack Reacher too, where like Tom Cruise was the original Jack Reacher, and then you get Alan Ritchson, who's a giant person.
yeah, how do you compare? It's like
So
it's not like Michael B. Jordan making that change. Michael B. Jordan looked like he could, hold his own before he put on all that muscle for Black Panther and for Creed 3. We're not going to
Yeah.
count Creed 1 and 2. He was shredded. He wasn't like a built machine.
Like, I think it worked out for the better here. And like, this is more of a, it's kind of like a detective story. So Terry is, he has a limited amount of time to get this money to bail out his cousin before his cousin goes to prison, where he was a witness to a murder. So essentially, it's like a death sentence that he is going to, go into this prison. So the cops in this small town confiscate the $30,000, whatever he had. And then you find out that it's deeper corruption within the department where they are trying to survive essentially by uh, forcefully taking people's things and using it to build up the department with weapons and artillery and margarita machines of all things. But uh I thought it was interesting. I really did. And it's not, like you said, Ahmed, it's not as action packed as you think it is.
Yeah, and I guess had I known that, I wouldn't have been looking forward to certain things. Like once I saw the fight, the first scene where he grabs the gun, I was like, oh, okay, here we go. But it did also take us a long time to get there. So I feel like some of his talents were a little bit wasted, and that's not his. That's not Aaron Pierre's fault. Um, we you mentioned him being the next action star, and Gerald and I were talking about the movie Wolves recently, and it was like what I said was I want there to be more new actors and see if their chemistry can be tested. I'd love to see Aaron Pierre with Glenn Powell.
Ooh,
You know
very
what I
good.
mean?
What if Glenn Pell was Batman and Aaron Pierre was John Stewart Green Lantern? That would be great.
Yeah, why not? Fuck it. I mean, we're gonna talk about this whenever we see the Joker, but I want there to be more good. We need better duos. We also need more young actors to young hungry actors like Miles Teller. These guys that are our age that are good at their job, but unfortunately they keep getting put in the DC movies where they go into development hell or whatever. But yeah, I'm on a rant right now, but I just want there to be new stuff, and I want to see Aaron Pierre and more stuff where their talents aren't wasted like this.
Yeah. Sylvester Stallone is 78 years old. We don't need to cast him as a lead in a movie, maybe anymore. Maybe let the young guys take over.
You guys don't need more money, all right? I'm
You got it.
sorry. You've got
Arnold,
yeah,
same to you. No more
you've got enough
Terminator.
money. Cut it out.
Well, is there any scenes here that stood out to you in particular, besides the one we talked about?
Uh, the truck scene where he's on the phone and he's like just that cliche I'm gonna come get you, that kind of that scene where he's just like, I thought about what you said about doing this de-escalation, then I was like, nah.
Yeah,
I was like, all right, I'll take it. It's cheap, it's silly. I'll take it. It's kind of like it's our yippee ki yay, motherfucker.
yeah. This is basically an 80s movie made today. Like, you have like corny moments where he's like pedaling so fast that he gets to his cousin's prison bus and he gets to knock on the window. I
Yeah,
was like, how fast were you going for this to happen? Like,
fast enough to get pulled over by racist cops, apparently.
yeah.
Where I had to be out of frame because Scratchy changed her mind.
Oh no.
But no, man, like it's so over the top. Like as soon as the movie gets started, there's police brutality. Like, God, what the hell?
It was a lot of work to get that money back.
A
Like,
lot
he
of work
was,
to get $30,000, and
it is
you're
a
lying.
lot.
You just got back from the Marines. You're probably like he probably didn't have a chance to breathe. And then his stupid cousin. We don't even know if that's all he has. Do you not? Does he not have siblings? Does he not have parents? Like, I don't know. Like, there's just more to it.
Yeah, like it was a very convoluted situation. And I will say the cop characters in here, David Denman, who plays Roy on The Office, and then like the other cop. They are very, very hateable in this movie. Like they're very good villains, and I thought Don Johnson was really like I've never really seen him as a villain. I think
Are you kidding me? You never seen Django Unchained?
oh he was in that.
He was the guy on the horse, the one who was like, "No, we can't have we don't have any spare
Forget
lives."
everything I said. I completely forgot that movie that I saw in theaters opening night. But um, yeah, like the supporting characters are good. Like Anna Sophia Robb is in here too.
I'm
She's fine.
sorry. Nope,
She's
I didn't
fine.
care for her. I thought her role was unnecessary. Um, what, like, you just met her. You've already been saying, "Yeah, I don't care about your life story." And then what happens? You just change your freaking mind? You literally got the keys to get away. And then she says one thing and you turn back and you're willing to die for her.
Yeah, the relationship was very accelerated
Very much
for
acceptable.
someone that you've met for an entire day.
And you've also been like, "I don't really care for you. I don't really give my number out like that." He wasn't into her. And now that he realizes she has a kid and she was an addict, it's just like, yeah, no, red flag on red flags.
I don't understand how they snuck into her house and stuck her with that needle without her waking up, and then snuck out of her room and got out of her house. Like, those guys weren't very stealthy when we saw them before.
Let's also not forget something very, very key. She was wanting to expose the corruption, yes?
Yeah,
She got her record cleared by the judge because she was an addict, all that shit. And so, with this record clean, she could go to law school and potentially get her daughter back. Why on earth, if you've reaped the benefits of this, would you try to expose it? That's like,
that's
you
true.
get, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that is true.
Why are you trying to bite the hand that feeds you? I don't have a weirder analogy than that. Why would you bite the hand that feeds you? For this tall hunk of green-eyed man meat?
He has beautiful eyes, Ahmed. That's what did it.
Is that? I mean, yeah. If you want to ruin your life just because a very handsome black man with colored eyes did that, I guess fine, whatever. But that and the female officer Sims.
That was a crazy plot twist.
No, no, it wasn't, Jeff.
It was
God,
not a good plot twist,
no, it
but
was a terrible plot twist. It didn't even need. So first, hear me out. He goes in to make a police report. She is the first officer he sees, and he tells her what happened. And then she, like a teacher who brings your bully in front of you, is like, "Did you hit him?" And he's just like, "You better not say a fucking word, or I'll kill you."
she was a very bad cop.
She
Like,
was a terrible cop. But then he's like, "Hey." Oh, and then she's also hiding, and then she apologizes like, "Sorry, chief, he caught me." And he's like, "Don't ever apologize." I was like, but then he trusts her,
why did
even
she
though
drive him out to the country then? I don't understand that part
she
of it.
drove him out to the country, but then says, "He's on foot, go get him, here he is." And then she betrays him again. Who the fuck? I'm sorry, but if you're in the military, I never served, but like, wouldn't you have that street sense of like, okay, that person ought to be trusted, you're dead kind of thing? Like, he just starts trusting random fucking people.
Yeah, he was very trusting after what happened at the beginning of that movie.
Yeah.
I will say this though. This movie was way too long. This was 2.5 hours, and there was like that subplot where they go to the judge's house and he's like sneaking around at night. Like it's obviously him. Like you don't have to wear the mask. Like we know who it is, and that just took forever. That just really dragged on.
And I don't like how they just made us like, they forced us to think, "Oh, that's the judge." Because there was no proper introduction. He's just sitting in his chair, minding his business, and then he's like, "You don't have to hide, I'll talk." Like, what the fuck? Who is this guy?
Yeah, and
And then,
then
yeah,
like, did he take his medicine? all this stuff, and I was like, "Oh my god, let's get on with it. Let's go to the
Did I
final
convince?
showdown."
Did I convince you
I
that
You
this movie
convinced me
sucked?
a little bit, but when we go into our ratings, Ahmed, which we're going to go into now, I will say that I liked it. I thought it was a little too long, but I will give it a starter.
Oh my fucking
I
god,
felt
Jeff.
I felt like I didn't waste my time. Like I really do think that Aaron Pierre has like a really good career in front of him in Hollywood, and I think that is probably what I remember most about this movie is this is kind of his introduction to like the larger general audience here.
I won't disagree with that statement for Aaron Pierre. I think this is a great introduction for people to kind of get to know him, especially because he has such a screen grabbing presence. Jonathan Majors didn't have that at the time whenever he was in Da Five Bloods, which is also on Netflix. A lot of people don't remember him in that scene in that movie because he was a minor character, but he didn't like grab your presence like he did in the other movies. So Aaron Pierre, I think that he could be on that skyrocketing journey that Jonathan Majors had if he just plays his cards right. You put him with the right people like Glenn Powell. Glenn Powell is a good boy.
Yeah. Like a buddy cop movie with Aaron Pierre and
No,
Glenn Pell.
buddy cop, the hitman's bodyguard. Like, I would love to see both of them as hitmen, charming, fast, witty, but like, you know, the very strict structural, hitman. I don't know. I think it would be cool. Like just to see them kind of go at hell, even as the Gray Man with Chris Evans and Ryan Gosling.
Yeah.
Let them go at it. Let them beat the hell out of each other. I would love to see it. It
I
sounds like it'll be a good fight.
I love mindless action movies like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so do it. Put them in the same movie. Uh, I am down for more Aaron Pierre for sure. I say this isn't a waste of time. Ahmed
I,
said otherwise.
I bench it.
All right.
That's a long way of me saying I bench it.
Yeah. Well, that's the beauty of this show. Me and Ahmed agree a lot. Sometimes we don't.
We
I
disagree
know.
on a lot. I hate you.
Hey, fuck you, Ahmed.
Oh, hey man, the
Hey.
language.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Well, we are
He's never cursed at me before.
never
So
ever.
he's
But
like Captain America. He doesn't believe in using foul language.
yes, I've never said the F word in my whole entire life.
Shut the fuck
Uh,
up. You're lying at.
um, well, Ahmed, I did convince you to go see Joker 2 this weekend, and that'll be our next review. And I'm not looking forward to it, but I'm looking forward to our conversation.
Begrudgingly, me too. All right, buddy.
All right. Well, this has been Box Office Quarterbacks. We'll see you guys very, very soon. Have a good one.